Okay, we're going to look at exponential decay. So we'll read this question. You purchase your car for $8,500, which decreases, that lets us know that it's decay, in value at a rate of 65 per year. Okay, we're going to go through this little note I've written on the side here. What will the resale value of your car be in 10 years? So we read it a second time and highlight important information. We start at 8,500. It's going to decay, so decrease in value at a rate of 65 per year. That's important. Actually, I think we normally do that in blue. Let me, green. Just want to get our colors together. Green, and then technically, and it says, what will resale value be in 10 years? So my note on the side here is because this is a little confusing. They've actually given you the rate. Normally in a question, they would say something like, it'll decrease. So imagine this was gone. Your car, which decreases, so this would be decreases by 35% per year. And what that would mean is for the rate, you'd convert 35 to a decimal. So you go 0.35 divided by 100. Or sorry, 35 divided by 100 gives you 0.35. Okay. And then you take 1, and because it's decay, you subtract.
0.35 divided by 100 or just 35?
35 divided by 100. And that's what gives you 0.35. Okay. You would subtract because it's decay, and you do 1 subtract 0.35, which if you use a calculator will give you 65%. They've actually told you what the number is going to be within this bracket, so you don't have to do this part of the question. It's kind of odd. Normally, they just give you what it's decreasing by, which is fine. Yeah. So let's take this info. This is written as populations, but it could be purchasing amount. It could be dollar amount. But the PN stands for future amount. That's what's really important. P naught stands for the amount right now. R is the growth or decay rate, which we didn't quite talk about. It's technically 35% is the decay rate in this question. And N is the number of years, which is up here. So we're going to plug this in. We've kind of color-coded stuff. N was 10 years, right? R in this case is technically 35%. That's the decay rate.
So 35 is a number you just put in there because 65.
Now remember, I'm going to write it over here. They've told us it decays at a rate of 60. The rate is 65%, but it's supposed to be decreasing in value by 35. They don't say this in the question. I'm going to show you how they got 65. Okay, so just give me a second.
How do you know that 35 is the right number? Like, how did you get?
I'll show you exactly in a second. P naught is what we started with, and P naught is the 8,500. Okay. Where's the ones? Oh yeah, and we use subtraction because it's decay. Because it's decaying, we do 1 subtract that value. So they said it's the value, let's read it one more time, decreases in value at a rate of 65. So they didn't say it was the decay rate. They said it decreases in value at a rate of 65. So what they've told us is that this number is going to become 65%. So how did I figure out 35? Well, I'll tell you how I figured it out. Let's do 1 subtract this 35. And when you have to do rate, you have to turn this into a decimal. So I would do 35, okay? 35 divided by 100. That's how you turn any percent into a decimal. You get 0.35. So I'm just going to focus on the bracket here. 1 subtract 0.35. Do you have a calculator with you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do it on this one here too.
Oh, that's what you're showing.
Yeah. 1 subtract 0.35 is equal to, and if you take a look up here, 0.65, and that's what that 65% is. The reason I knew it was 35, okay, is because I know I have to add 35 to 65 to equal 100%, okay? Now, they didn't really say this in the question. What they told you is that this is going to eventually be 0.65. And that's what that value was they gave you, which is odd, but just fine. Let's continue with what we're doing.
65, you get 100.
Yeah, exactly. So let's add our other values in. Our P naught, what we started with, was 8,500 for 10 years, and it's the rate it decreases at is 0.65. Okay, so in other words, the decay rate was 35. So, anyways, we've got our numbers. We'll put it into our calculator, and it'll tell us how much the car will be worth in 10 years. So we do 0.65 to the power of 10. So it's going to give us some really small decimal. There it is. The next step would be to multiply by the 8,500. So instead of moving this number, I don't want to round. I want to be as accurate as possible. I multiply by 8,500 equals, and there you go. Your car is worth $114, and because it's money, I'm going to say 0.43, 43 cents. So PN is equal to $114.43 approximately. So in 10 years, you get, if you were to sell the car,
Yeah.
a very small amount of money, $114, compared to the $8,500 you spent when you originally bought it. And that's how it decayed.